with Mario Lopez.
Everyone, Mario Lopez. Joining me now on Zoom, Grammy winning producer and DJ Zedd. Welcome to the show, man.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, I got to tell you, I'm a fan. I even have a Zedd Pandora station, and I listen to you a lot while I'm doing jujitsu because I'm a big music lover, and I have different music for different activities, right? I'm out there playing bocce and smoking and drinking and hanging out with pops. I'm listening to some yacht rock. If I'm training, I like upbeat kind of music with keep going. So during jujitsu, I'm listening to Zedd. I'm listening to kind of house music and all. So it's so I'm very familiar with your.
Oh, thank you very much, man. That means a lot. That's awesome.
Thank you. I just wanted to tell you that. That's real talk right there. Congrats on the latest album, Telos. It's your first album in 9 years too. Why the long hiatus?
Well, I have released music since, but I think in order to make an album that's really meaningful and really purposeful, you got to be in a certain state of mind. And I truthfully just haven't been. Reasons are that I've played 1,000 shows. I've had very many Vegas residencies. I've released tons of singles, but I didn't feel inspired enough to sit down and make a full body of work. And it honestly, I really didn't want it to take this long. I didn't think it was going to take this long, but sometimes you got to listen to your inner voice. And just after the pandemic is when I started feeling like, oh, I might have finally the time and the creative juice to sit down and really create something meaningful. And I didn't want to rush it. And there was no reason to do that either, because I think in today's day and age, you could argue that just releasing songs makes more sense. But I got hungry to tell a story that's a little bit deeper than, give you 40 minutes of music to listen to while you do jiu-jitsu instead of just 3.
No, you know what? I totally respect that as an artist too, because you're right. As opposed to just kind of throwing something out there.
Yeah.
The fact that you're passionate about it and you care, I think will tell all the difference in the world. Random question. Where are you from, Zedd?
I was born in Russia. I grew up in Germany, and I live in LA now.
Got it. Okay. So to my point, because, I'll listen to you, and whether it's, my God, and Calvin Harris, all the house, it's got a big European influence, right? Not a lot of Americans. I write, and am I right in that? And
you're right.
Why is that the case, you think?
That's a good question. I was talking to friends about this actually, and I tasked other people to name me German international artists. And it's not that easy. I mean, there's Rammstein, obviously there's gigantic artists out there, but I think especially Holland, they put way more emphasis on education in the musical scene. Like there is production schools, not that we don't have them in America by any means, but there's just more of an emphasis on it. And kids grow up listening to electronic music, look up to DJs and producers and want to be like them. I think Germany has a very rich history of classical music. A lot of the big classical composers were German, so maybe there's a little bit of that in there. I wish I could give you a more educated answer, but
that makes total sense.
I think we just grew up with it. We have Berlin is a famous place for techno and generally house music. Holland has a very, very rich amount of incredible electronic producers. But I do think America's coming up. It sounds so backwards when I say this, but there's a lot of American producers that are coming up, and I think it's gonna even out over time.
Very cool. All right. Your album features a bunch of collabs, including John Mayer and Muse. How do you go about selecting your the guests you'd like? Is there a relationship, or does it have to make sense with the label?
The label was not involved whatsoever in a respectful way. They left me full creative control. These artists that I worked with are the ones that I honestly grew up with and that have inspired me the most, and people that I love working with that I would reach out to work on these songs with. I used to be in a band before I was Zedd, and my very first concert, I was 12 years old. I was a drummer, was a cover of Muse. So when I was working on 1685, to me, there was only one single artist that I would collaborate with. And I told my manager, it's either going to be featuring Muse or it's going to be just me solo. No other artist would make sense on this song. John Mayer is another artist that I just adore and admire. And Jeff Buckley is an artist that I grew up listening to. I remember in our band times, we would drive ourselves in a van to concerts, and that's the kind of music we were listening to. So it's a really personal album. It's music and musicians that I worked with. that have inspired me to become the artist I am today. And in a sense, it's an homage to all of them. And I see it as an album of all of us and not just a Zedd album featuring them. It's really a collaborative project. And I see them as my band.
Oh, that's cool. I can't wait to hear it, man. And you're also releasing an instrumental and a cappella version of the album, right?
Yes. So since this is sort of a concept album where almost all songs flow into one another, besides a few small points where I wanted you to have a break, the end of each song is also connected to the beginning of next song. So if you wanted to put it in a playlist and just listen to one song, sometimes you're kind of stuck with an ending that you don't really want to hear. So we decided to release, let's just call them single versions, where the songs are one at a time without the album connectivity and the instrumentals and acapellas. And the thinking is that the album is very, very dense and there's a lot to discover in the acapellas and instrumentals that you possibly would miss in the regular versions. And I love the idea of giving kids a medium to remix and, you know, maybe showcase their talents. And I think when I grew up in the music scene, it was so hard to get acapellas. I would have to beg artists to give me an acapella to remix. And I like the idea of just sharing it with everybody and giving everyone all the tools if they wanted to remix a song that I might not even know of their existence, and they might blow my mind with an amazing remix, and I might discover them and bring them on tour. So I like that idea.
Yeah, that's a cool approach right there. You just wrapped a 16-date tour. What's your favorite part about hitting the road?
I think when I'm in the studio for too long, and you could say working on this album, I was in the studio for too long, I get really hungry to finally play out those songs. And I'm really involved in my live shows in a sense that I sit down with my team we sat down for a month and program all the lights, and I get to really present a show. And I'm excited about that because I feel like this is the best show I've ever created. And I have a live moment where I play drums in the show currently. And
that's cool.
And I've never done this besides in my band days. And it's really special. And it's been going over really well. And we were nervous because I have a mostly EDM crowd. And drums aren't normally what they're used to. And it's a full live moment. And it has been really, really awesome.
People I bet it's really because the drums, as opposed to, you can kind of like syncopate with the beat and the whole, I think that's.
Yeah. I actually literally took the drums out of the songs that I'm playing. So if I stop playing, then there's no drums in the music. But we've been able to make them sound so big. And I think people get really excited to see something different. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. This is the most fun show that I've ever played.
Nice. Kelly Clarkson recently covered your hit "The Middle," which is very cool.
Very cool.
Wait. At what point did you realize that song was going to be a hit?
I think there's 2 points. At one point, when we were trying to find the perfect singer, and we're months and months in, and the people that we wanted to be on the song didn't want to be on the song. And then there was a million people that wanted to be on the song that I thought wouldn't really fit the song. There was a moment in time where I was sitting at the kitchen table and I was like, guys, why does it matter who sings the song? It's a smash. So there was this one moment, it was a little arrogant to say, but I was really annoyed with the fact that it was so hard to find the perfect voice. And then I think shortly after we released it, people would hit me up on Instagram and ask if they could like post a video of themselves singing "The Middle." And it was such a strange moment for me because first of all, I was like, why are you like, you can do whatever you want on social media.
Very polite of them.
But like a lot of my friends were like, hey, could I also post a video? Because somebody posted a video miming, like singing "The Middle," and I reposted it. And they're like, hey, could I do one too? I'm like, of course you could do it. You don't have to ask. And it took this viral moment of everybody just asking and posting. And that hasn't usually happened with a lot of my music. So I think there was this moment where I was like, okay, I think there is more to this song than just a regular release.
Yeah, what a cool moment right there.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
You a big Halloween guy at all?
I'm not. I hate to say it. All my friends are like Halloweening up. I'm kind of waiting for the Christmas vibes, and I'm not even religious, but I love the warmth of the Christmas time.
Yeah,
I'm not a Halloween guy. Are you?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I got 3 small kids, so
okay, that must change things
because they get into it. Yeah, and then at work, everybody kind of dresses up. So I guess I'm Halloween-ish. My wife is very much into it, but like you, I look forward to. We immediately get into Christmas.
Is it on the 1st of November?
It's just yes, that's it. The trees up, the whole. I mean, we really take advantage. Hey, it was really nice talking to you, and I look forward to the to the album. I'll be listening
Thank you so much.
Tomorrow morning when I train. Listen to Telos on iHeartRadio or wherever you get new music. Thanks for hanging out, Zedd.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you.
On with Mario Lopez.